It has been a while since I've shared some TikTok viral recipes, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do, as well as list every single one of the creators that I use with their recipe in the description box down below, so you can go on over there and find some wonderful creators to follow. First of which, I love this guy. I've made several recipes, but not the one I'm gonna make tonight, so I'll share that with you in a minute. But I'm just going to find whatever recipes are currently kicking off that I think you guys would really enjoy. Had to do the prepping of the vegetables, but tonight's recipe comes from Cooking in the Midwest. It is a creamy chicken and noodle dish that goes in the crock pot. My chicken's almost still completely frozen, but 1 pound of chicken. He says throw your pound of chicken in the crock pot with all the spices he has listed below. Well, so far, garlic, onion powder, and paprika. 1 teaspoon of each. And then a half a spoon of each one of these: salt, pepper, oregano, and thyme. I have to fill my salt. Then a good sized tablespoon of garlic. That looks about like what he put in there. I call this garlic, he calls it lazy people garlic. In there with that, 1 cup each of diced up onion, diced carrots, and celery. 1 can of chicken pudding, as he calls it. And 1 cup of chicken broth in there too. Low sodium, you can always add more salt, but you can't take it out. I got the chicken pudding on my Easter bunny, I gotta clean that. Now pop the lid on. Plug it in this time and set it to low for 6 hours. This is gonna cook for the 6 hours. At the 6 hour mark, we're gonna take out the chicken, we're gonna dice it up, put it back in. Before we hit to that phase, probably a good like 15 minutes before this is done, you're going to need to boil 8 to 10 ounces of egg noodles and get those ready, because you do have to throw them in there when they're already cooked. Egg noodles are boiling, they've got about 2 more minutes. This says it's got 17. My crock pot is always stupid fast. There's what it looks like, and I've got to pick the chicken out real quick. Brianna's doing half a cup of heavy cream.
Splash yourself, so I'm gonna end up splashing myself.
Just be gentle. The chicken was taken out and then it was diced up. We're gonna put all of that back in. Just again, try not to splash yourself. Somewhere between 8 to 10 ounces of cooked egg noodles. We're gonna go ahead and mix that up. Okay, once you get it all mixed up, it's good to serve. I'm about to serve it up, but this way you can see, this is the recipe right here, 3.6 million plays and 147.9 thousand likes, but that's what it looks like right there. And here is what my version of it looks like. I'll let you know what it tastes like. For me, Clean Plate Club. For my older children, they added some shredded cheese, but they said it felt like it was missing something, but still at least a 9 out of 10, so that's giving it high reviews. My younger two are very picky. Declan gave it a 6 out of 10, and Gwen really loved the noodles but doesn't like anything else in it. I wouldn't judge off of them. Plus, there's still leftovers. My husband's not home yet to eat, but I can tell there will still be leftovers from this one for work for the next couple days, which also helps. So this one, definitely, I understand the hype. We're on to night number 2, and tonight's recipe is courtesy of Kevin Ashton. Now, I'm not making his exact one, and I'll explain why in a second, but we are going to do a baked spaghetti with like a bolognese sauce. The reason I say we're not doing his exact one is this man cooks for a sorority house, so the recipes are huge, but he does smaller ones, and you can always break it down a little bit more. Like, he has a mojo chicken I want to try so bad. This recipe has over 30 million views and 3 million likes on this video alone. I'm going to follow his technique for the actual baked and in the pans part, but as far as the actual spaghetti part, I'm just gonna do my own, because otherwise I'd be cooking for an entire sorority house. I'm only doing 7 people around here. Step 1, get a skillet nice and hot for your ground beef, because you're going to make a ground beef sauce. And you're also gonna boil your noodles. Boil them only to the al dente number, the lowest number on the box, because when they go in the oven later, they will cook a little further. And it is only 12:21 because this needs to go into the refrigerator so it can get compact and stay in shape. So we are doing this a little early today. 1 pound of ground beef. Hot pan. I like to let it cook for a minute before I crush it up. Like, see the little brown bits? So good. A little steak blend. Regular blend. He also mentions oregano and dried thyme in his meat, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that just to stay true to his video. He uses like a garlic paste. I only have the garlic stuff, but throw it in the middle and start waking it up. He also threw in some red wine. I'm not doing that. At this point, he adds his tomato sauce. He does not say which one or the recipe, so I'm just using what I have on hand. So whatever tomato sauce you like, add it in. I'm gonna start with 1 jar, see where that gets me. A little water in the jar. And then he says just let that cook for a few minutes. Put my noodles in a huge bowl. He did all this by hand. I'm only gonna use the gloves when I push it down here. I'm not putting my hands in hot pasta. All the sauce. Mix it around until everything's really good and coated. That looks good mixed. I have a 13 by 9 because he had his slices pretty thick. So I'm gonna hope that this will do the same thing. We're gonna pour that all in there. Now I'll do what he did with some gloves. Because what he said was to push it down. Well, this one was already broke, so I don't know if this is gonna work. I'm just gonna use one. But he said to push it down and like compact it. Woo! Yeah, even with a glove on, that's hot. Then he said parchment paper over the top. I'm gonna push it down a little more. And then, quote, into the fridge for a few hours to solidify. Fast forward several hours later, I just pulled this out of the fridge because I'm using a glass dish and I don't want it to go straight into the oven, it'll crack. But preheat the oven to 400 degrees and take off your parchment paper. I couldn't find the cheese he used, so I'm just using normal mozzarella cheese, and you have to cover the top. Covered it in a huge layer of cheese. Now I have to cover it in foil. Now this will go in the oven for 45 minutes and then we'll take this off and it'll go for another 15. That's what it looks like right now. And it goes another 15 to get a little more brown. 15 minutes. All right, beautiful. 10 minutes has passed and I cannot find the knife that I am looking for. Just add some ricotta and I feel like I made lasagna. Now the next question is, will it scoop out all nice and pretty how his looked? Oh, almost, but you still get the general gist. That one came out nice and pretty. Here's what a close-up of the slice looks like. Not quite as pretty as his, but let's see how it tastes. Still got a few kids and my husband needs to eat, but since I'm almost done with my piece, I'll go ahead and talk about it. I love refried spaghetti. I actually think I like that better than fresh day of spaghetti. So for me, this was fantastic. But if you are just looking for a spaghetti vibe, this was a lot of extra steps. And 2 of my kids don't like melted cheese, so I already had to pull that off of theirs anyways. It needed time in the fridge. So if I'm just looking for spaghetti vibes, cool. But I don't know if necessarily, you know, I want to be doing all those steps every time I want to make spaghetti. So this is like special occasion. Still tastes really good though. On to night number 3. This is basically all I'm going to need to make this recipe. It does use a rotisserie chicken. I'm going to use all of the breast meat and then save all the dark meat for a different night. But then just chicken broth, a can of the cream of chicken, a stick of butter, cheddar bay biscuit mix. If you want to add the cheese, you can also add that. They said you could do either one. Oh, hold on. Almost forgot. Frozen vegetables of any kind that you like. He used like the mix that has the green beans, the corn, peas, and carrots. I prefer just the peas and carrots, but my kids like corn, so I also have a can of corn that I will drain and sprinkle some of that in there as well. But first step is the oven to 350 and the chicken I need to get the meat off of. What am I making tonight? Because I completely forgot to tell you over there. It is chicken cobbler. It is from the Barefoot Neighbor. He himself has over 1 million followers, and that video alone, which he has recreated himself several times, but if you combine all of them, it is well over 50 million views and over, I think, 5 million likes. Something crazy, but it is chicken cobbler. I want to do this in as few dishes as possible, so while my oven preheats, I have my 13 by 9. I'm going to put my entire stick of butter in it and put it in the oven while it preheats, just long enough for the butter to melt. Melted 1 stick of butter. Put all of your chicken. He uses shredded chicken. I'm not the biggest fan of shredded chicken, so I diced ours up. Then he says veggies are next. He put the whole bag, but that seems a bit excessive, but that's okay. I'll put some corn too. He said season it however you like. So going in with some blend. And I'm gonna use their grilled chicken for a little something extra too. In here, I've got the can of cream of chicken and 2 cups of chicken broth. Just whisking that together. His steps, he puts the biscuit dough first and then this on top of it. Based on the comments, that gives that soggy breadness. I don't like that. My family doesn't like that. So we're reversing the order. But he did say do not mix any of it. So we're just trying to be even. 2 cups of milk. I'm just going in the same one. It's all gonna get mixed together anyways. The whole box of the Cheddar Bay biscuit mix and the seasoning packet. I'm gonna try and mix this and not make a gigantic mess. He said his daughter wanted cheese that time. He mixed it into there, so we're gonna mix a little cheese into there as well. This goes over the top of everything else. And he specifies 1,000 times, don't mix it, so I'm not mixing it. That goes in the oven, 350, uncovered, 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how firm you want that.
Well, it looks like it's almost gonna boil over in my oven.
But he said you'll know by the jiggle. I don't see any jiggle in the biscuit. I'm going to stab the biscuit. That's just what I know to do. I mean, I think that looks fine.
Pretty sure that's done.
Let's go ahead and pull it. I will say this smells incredible. Look at the bubbly goodness. Look at that. It's all like dancing in there. Okay, you are gonna have to let this sit for a good, I think 10 minutes, he said, before you dive in. As I thought, it's gonna crumble and make a huge mess, so just be prepared for that. I don't know if it's gonna give the soggy bread vibes or not. I will let you know very soon. Tristan has yet to eat, and the rest of us have basically devoured this. This shifted a little bit, but we only have about that much left out of the 13 by 9. This is good. It's chicken and biscuits. That's all it is. And this did not give that gummy, uncooked vibe because I went the extra few minutes. So if you don't like that texture, because I know I don't, continue cooking it till about 50, 55 minutes and you won't get that either. Otherwise, I get it why this has millions and millions of views and millions of likes, because it's very simple, comes together fast, and everyone likes it. All of my kids, except Gwen, ate this and thought it was good. On to the final night and final 2 recipes I'm going to put together, but they are from 2 completely different creators because one only did the main dish, which was a chicken item, and then the other one only did a side dish, which is like a potato thing, so I'm just gonna combine the 2 for dinner tonight. The first one I wanna talk about is Carissa. This chick has over 5 million followers on Instagram, or excuse me, on TikTok. And the recipe that we're following tonight from her has over 3 million views and 250,000 likes. And she says it's like her family's favorite way to make chicken. To go with it, we are going to make Cassie's Hasselback potatoes, which has over 32 million views. It is absolutely insane the amount of views this thing has, and 3.8 million likes on her Hasselback potatoes. This is Cassie. She was on one of the cooking shows. I will get the name of it again in a second, but her stuff is all amazing. Cassie is from Next Level Chef, and her page alone has almost 4 million subscribers over there. It's just, her stuff is phenomenal. I wanna try a whole lot more, but I picked the highest #1, and that was these potatoes. If you've ever baked a potato, you know they take about an hour, so I do already have my oven preheated. I have the potatoes washed, as well as any other produce that I'll be using, I have that washed. The chicken requires a block of cream cheese. I already have that softening, and the potatoes require an entire stick of butter, which again, I already have softening. She doesn't give any exact measurements, but go ahead and chop up some parsley and some chives, as much as you would want to stick into 1 stick of butter. You're gonna need a bowl, and following Miss Cassie, 1 stick of softened butter. Yes, she pulls it out of her shirt. What you're doing is you're making a compound butter. If you don't know what that means, you're basically just taking a stick of butter, adding herbs and spices to it, then putting it back in the fridge, and then using it that way once it's re-stiffened back up. That's why this is step #1. It has to go back in the fridge while we work on prepping the potatoes. So into the butter. This looked about the amount that she did of the fresh parsley. Like I said, it's all guesstimating at this point. And then these are fresh chives. Those in. She's a professional chef. She used the real stuff. I'm using garlic. It just makes my life easier. She put a big old heap of that in there. Also, salt and pepper this to taste. This is why you need to use softened butter, so that way you can actually mix all of that into the butter really good, but not melted butter, because this does have to re-solidify. But now you need plastic wrap. Put your butter into the center of the plastic wrap. Okay, like so. And then just fold these little pieces under and put this back in the fridge while you work on the potatoes. Now we have to prep the potatoes. You are going to need chopsticks or something like it. These are the only weird chopsticks I have in my house. They're little kid cut ones we got for Tristan as a joke. So I have these, which are heart-shaped little stainless steel straws from Valentine's Day. I'm gonna use these. I'm gonna show you with one potato so you know exactly what you're doing. I'm doing 7 potatoes because I've got 7 people in my house. What you're gonna do, take your potatoes once they're clean, and you're gonna cut a little bit off the bottom, just so it sits flat and doesn't roll around. Then you're gonna take your chopsticks. This is just to make sure that you don't cut all the way through the potato, because all you're trying to do is make slices into the potato, but keep them attached to the potato. Okay, see, the potato will fan, but it doesn't actually fall apart. Do this with all of your potatoes that you're gonna do. Finally through, and I only screwed up 1 slice, but I shoved it back in, I don't care. Now she says take oil, she doesn't specify, so I'm just assuming vegetable oil. Put it all over each potato. Salt, pepper. Now you're going to massage all this in to each potato. Last one, and these go in a 450-degree oven for 30 minutes, and then I'll show you the next step. Gotta wash my hands too. Potatoes are in for a little while. I have to cook off some bacon. My husband picks it, so we have thick cut, but I'm working with what I have. I like either using a big pot or this big old skillet with the lid. I will put every bit of it in there and toss it and cook it as it goes. It's the fastest, easiest, least messy way to do bacon. It does seem excessive to me, but she does say that she uses an entire package of bacon for this recipe, so that's exactly what I'm gonna do. My pan is still cold, so that way it heats up with the bacon and the pan together, and the fat will render more evenly. But I just stack it all in there, as you see, and I will move it around as it cooks. Pop a lid on and let it go. In case you've never made bacon this way, I just keep moving it around. And closing it back up till it's done. I'm gonna mix up everything for the chicken in 1 second, but right now go ahead and take your compound butter out. I've got 2 minutes till my potatoes are about to pop out. But see how this is hard as a rock again? This is what you're going for. What you're gonna do is you're gonna cut this into just a bunch of slices. Now, she also says to break the pieces, so I'm gonna go ahead and just pre-cut them in half as well. And she also keeps a few slices for the end. So that's what I've got right there, is a few slices I'm gonna keep for the topping. That's the first 30 minutes. There's what they look like. What she does is she takes this herby butter and she starts putting it in between all of the slices. Now these are gonna be hot, so be very careful, but get it in there quickly. I had a lot more butter than I thought I was going to, so I did very light over here and very heavy over there on those 5. But now they go back in for another 30 minutes or until your desired crispiness is what she said. Into this bowl, put an entire block of softened cream cheese. Into that goes a 1/2 cup of mayo, some pepper, a 1/4 cup of green onions. I have more, I'm going to garnish with that, but a 1/4 cup of green onions. Chop up your whole package of bacon, chop it up, put it in there. That looks good to me. Putting all that in. I burned a few of the pieces, so those are just gonna be snacking bacon. Mix this up really good. I almost forgot, if it didn't get crazy enough, 1 cup of shredded cheddar also in the bowl. It feels just like crack chicken to me. She used about 2.5 pounds of thinly sliced chicken breast that she had put really close together on a pan. I have chicken tenders, that's what I'm going to use. This is just shy of 3 pounds. Use this and you smother the chicken with it. My husband's already snacking on the bacon. Take the other cup of cheese in your bag, spread on top of this. Again, if it wasn't already insane, let's just keep adding. She said 30 to 40 minutes. Just check it to make sure it's at least 165 degrees. Potatoes are done. The chicken still has a few minutes, but I'm gonna show you what she does with these. Okay. To top hers, what she said she likes to do is another pad of that butter, some sour cream, and then to quote her, some chive razzle dazzle. The razzle dazzle is her thing. But there is Cassie's Hasselback potato. I'm gonna take one piece while I'm waiting for the chicken so that it just falls apart like that. And she dipped it in. I'm gonna burn the crap out of myself, but she says first bite bestie. Absolutely delicious. Oh my gosh. Tray of chicken. Mine cooked a little faster because these were on 450 and then I cranked it down to 400 once both these were in there together. So this cooked a little faster, but hers is 350 for about 35 minutes. Got my pretty potato on one side. I'm gonna take on the other side. This one needs its own little version of razzle dazzle. So just some green onions on that one. There's the chicken and the chicken and the potato together. Obviously I'll take more, but I want you to be able to see it. I want y'all to be able to see the inside of the chicken, so I'm cutting straight across the middle. Getting a little bit of everything on top of there. Fully cooked chicken. It's got the bacon. We'll even throw some more green onion on there. It's crack chicken. Potato, phenomenal. This chicken, absolutely delicious. Add ranch and you have crack chicken. It basically is the exact same thing, although my kids might eat this a little better because they're not shredded chicken kids, and every time I make crack chicken, it's in the crock pot, so it's shredded up. But either way, both of these, absolutely. But now it's dinner time, and that was the last two recipes for this video. I try to get some of the most viral people that are cooking. Some are actual professional chefs, some are not, but all of them are fantastic. I plan to try a lot more of their recipes, as well as bring you other fantastic cooks over there on TikTok and bring them your way as well. If you guys enjoyed this one, let me know down below. Subscribe if you're new, thumbs up, all that, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.